just hope y'all know the WNBA don't pay my bills at all. I don't even think that pays one of my bills. Literally. I'm trying to think of like my rent for where I stay at. Let me do the math real quick.
It might cover that. Yeah, it covers that. It definitely covers that.
What is my... I don't even know my salary. 74? Okay. I don't even know my salary. Does it? What is it? You don't even... Yo! I'm living beyond my means! It's like... No, my rent is more than that. It's $8,000. I'm living beyond my means. Like y'all think. Babe, if y'all thought... It's like... I don't even know my salary for WNBA. That thing. Did I even pay my car note?
Yeah, I think it pays your car note.
Yeah. I ain't doing it, that thing.
I don't think she shocked the world by saying that the WNBA doesn't make much money and doesn't pay practically any of her bills. I think we all pretty much knew that. But just because that's the truth, that doesn't mean that you need to make it worse. I hope, and I really, really hope that $8,000 she's spending a month is going towards a home and not like an apartment or something else.
She said rent, bro. She said rent, not a mortgage.
But, you know, sometimes there are people that use it interchangeably. Here's the thing. That comes with, like, celebrities. And let's be honest, it tends to be a lot of black celebrities that end up having this problem. I really don't understand why they don't go, like, the Ocho Cinco method or even the Tyrese method. I'm not talking about marrying a crazy woman. I'm talking about, like, how a lot of them wear, like, fake stuff.
Yeah.
But because they're famous, most people assume it's real. So they get away with it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, why aren't you, like, you don't have to live in a place that's super expensive. I get that safety is a big issue because you're a celebrity, so you probably want to have a gated community. You don't want anyone just walking up on you.
Oh, when is that other hot tea coming up?
That's sad because that really shows you, like, obviously you're fortunate
to be an
income, but think about how many people don't and have to actually live off that.
I know.
That's really sad.
I wouldn't even be able to get a sandwich if I wanted to.
Yeah, no, you'd
I wouldn't be able to eat. I would only be able to live.
Yeah. Like, especially in a city, like Chicago,
Yeah.
New York, like, that's crazy. And you make the same amount of money if you live in New York, California, which are the most expensive states.
I know.
Versus if you live in,
like, imagine
Minnesota.
Where,
yeah.
Like Cam and Ricky and
yeah.
live.
Yeah, and their tax rate is so much higher.
And I want to live somewhere safe, so.
So crazy.
I understand that, but there are other ways to accomplish that without spending most of your salary.
Yeah, so speaking of salary, I want to break some numbers down. Just I thought it's interesting. So she said 74,000. I looked it up online, and apparently she makes her salary from the WNBA is $73,439. So I was like, okay, so how much is a recommended percentage of your salary that you should pay on rent? And according to NerdWallet, it should be no more than 30%. So 30% of your gross income. So 30% of her $73,439 salary is about $22,000 per year she should spend on rent. And if you take that by month, it's about $1,800 per month max she should be spending on her rent. And obviously she's spending about 4.5 times that, or a little more than that. That's based on her WNBA salary. Now, obviously, she's making money from endorsements. So for her, it's different because the endorsement money is probably far exceeding what she needs to pay.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
But even with that being said, I hope she's investing that money because what she could do, cut her lifestyle a little bit, get a $4,000 apartment. That $4,000 you're paying in rent right now, put that into investments so you can pay for yourself after you finish playing in the WNBA. So that's Angel Reese, right? She has an endorsement deal. She's one of those top players in the league. If you want to take it from the perspective of an average WNBA player making the minimum salary, we can do that too.
What's the minimum salary?
So the minimum salary for a WNBA player, when I looked it up, is $64,164. Which, just for perspective, the median salary across the United States is $37,585. So they're making almost double the median salary to what? Play a sport they enjoy. Now, like they mentioned in the video, depending on where you live, that $64,000 can go a long way or it might go not so long.
Yeah.
So that depends too. And then you get a lot of people that say, "Oh, it's not fair," because I'll tell you what the minimum NBA salary is.
Oh, I already know it's way. Let's be honest. How many people do you ever meet in life? And this is not a diss to them because I know those girls work hard, and I'm not saying they're not talented. But how many people you meet in real life that actually watch the WNBA regularly? That could tell you the players and the stats.
Based on the number of conversations that come up organically, not many.
Yeah.
I never met somebody like, "Hey, you see that WNBA?" I mean, maybe one or two people I come across.
I don't know if I've met someone in life.
And that's a good point to bring up too. Because, okay, they say it's unfair. They make so much less than the minimum. The minimum NBA salary is $1,157,153. So I'm not sure what the percentage of that is compared to the WNBA minimum, but someone might say, well, that's not fair, right? But then I was like, well, let's compare how much revenue each league brings in, right? So I got this down. Let me show you. So the WNBA, the annual revenue that the WNBA brings in is $200 million for 2023. Sounds like a lot, right?
Yeah.
So $200 million for 2023 is the annual revenue that the WNBA brought in. The annual revenue that the NBA brought in. Oh, by the way, that was up 100 million from the prior year. So the prior year they brought in like 109 million.
I was about to say, you didn't tell me the cost. So I mean, that's
No, I'm saying like year over year they've doubled what they bring in revenue.
no. I was saying like when you told me how much they made, you didn't tell me how much the cost was. So I'm like, are they even keeping that much?
You mean the league? I got you. That's another point.
Yeah.
But I'm just comparing apples to apples right now.
Yeah, I got you.
So how much did the NBA bring in? $10.58 billion in revenue.
Well, the NBA subsidizes the WNBA.
Absolutely. And they brought in 54 times what the WNBA brought in for perspective. But go ahead. You had a point.
I mean, let's just be completely honest. It's not a gender issue. It's just a business issue.
It's a business issue. That's it.
You do what makes money and you put money towards things that make money. I'm not saying the WNBA doesn't have a chance to make money like the NBA, because the WNBA is actually relatively new when you compare it to the NBA.
Yeah.
So it will take some time for it to catch up to that.
Right.
But I mean, I think that the main thing about the WNBA is that there are some things that they could change to give it an advantage over the NBA. Because I mean, let's be honest. I know people like to say that like men and women, it's like comparing grapes to grapes, and it's really not. There are some things you got to alter. That doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means that there's some things that need to change because it's gender. And I mean, that's just, it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I mean,
Yeah, I guess that's a good
unless
point.
they're willing to make the changes to accommodate for the differences, I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. And I don't think doing this and telling people, oh, you should feel bad, you should do this, like, no, you don't need to do that. The girls are already talented. Just figure out what the selling point is and figure out how to broadcast that to your target market and figure out how to make women more interested in watching it. I think that's the biggest issue. I think that they're like, the WNBA always tries to go after guys who watch the NBA. And I'm like, well, they're not really watching. They want to watch the NBA because they see themselves in the NBA. So that's what they want to watch. Target women who like watching the WNBA. And listen, maybe not that many women. I'm not sure how many women like basketball. It's probably not as many men who like basketball. I'm just going to guess. I don't know. But maybe make it, I don't know, maybe make it more of a personalized experience for women to go to the WNBA. Maybe make it more glamified. Maybe make it less of a man thing and more of a woman thing. Maybe they might want to go more. I don't know. There's things that they could do to make it a better experience for those select women that really enjoy it. Yeah. And I just don't feel like they even try it. They just say, oh, you know, men, you got to do this. Men, you got to do this. And I'm like, it's not even about that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Because I remember Shaq even said that he would suggest lowering the rim so that way that they could dunk.
Yeah.
And I think I can't remember who did it. It was one of the WNBA players. Like, she was vividly against it. And I was like, why?
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's just an ego thing.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to say it, but it does sound like kind of an ego thing. I mean, it just is what it is. And I mean, it just is what it is, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, dude, it's just not, it
is what it is. I'm gonna say.
It's not a big deal. It's like, do you care more about your ego, or do you care more about making something more successful?
Right. Yeah.
You can't have both.
I've heard a bunch of different arguments. To be honest, I can't recall what it was, but I know there's a new player that came in that people hate on her.
Oh, you're talking about Caitlin Clark?
Is that her? Yeah.
Yeah.
And something about her they said was different that people enjoyed, and I don't recall what it was that they said.
I think I remember what they,
what
they said. And this is what they said.
This is their opinion.
This is their opinion.
What they said?
We didn't say this, but they said that Caitlin Clark looks more, I think, feminine is what I think a lot of people were saying, that she looks more feminine.
Okay.
So I mean,
I wonder if that would really make a difference on a large scale if more of the women looked more feminine, and I guess.
I think for guys to watch, yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because let's be honest, men are visual.
Yeah, but the uniforms aren't like. I mean, let's keep it real. Like, why do a lot of guys watch beach volleyball? Because they enjoy the technicalities of the sport.
Yeah, I know.
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, so I mean, unless they're out there running around in booty shorts, is that really? And again, this is not my.
Yeah.
This is just like.
You're just thinking, guys.
Yeah, I don't know, but you know, again, I'll say it again. I'll just be repetitive. It's about the numbers. It's about the money. You know, it's that simple. So give it time. Let's see what happens. I know they're, like I said, from 2022 to 2023, they made $100 million more than they did the year previous. So,
I mean, listen, I have noticed in the last like 3 years, people have been paying more attention to because before let's be honest, it was silent. It was dead silent.
Yeah.
I ain't hearing. The only person I even knew in the WNBA was Lisa Leslie, and that's only because she was on she was on all the TV shows in the 90s. That's how I know her.
Yeah.
But besides that, I didn't know anything. But then I started seeing Angel Reese a lot. People started hyping her up, and then now Caitlin Clark, people hyped her up.
Yeah.
So.
Before that one that was kind of like Skylar something.
Oh, Skylar Diggins.
Yeah. And that's just because, of course, people thought she was.
Yeah, they like the way she looks.
Like the way she. Yeah.
We're not saying that she doesn't play good. We're just saying, you know.
Yeah.
This has been Bad Decisions. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Go watch the WNBA if you want to.